You know the saying that those who can't do, teach? Well, that might be very applicable in many professions, like a retired athlete or something like that. It should not be the motto when it comes to choosing who you trust for your financial advice. Therefore, I thought it might be of value to you who already work with us at Oasis Wealth, and maybe those of you who might be considering working with Oasis Wealth, to know my personal kind of finance journey and kind of where our family finds ourselves now, and to know that we are living out the rules and living out the dream that we are trying to create for our clients. I'm going to get specific with you. In particular, as a family, we had bought a home and it by all accounts was perfect, but we realized a few years in that it was stifling our ability to save. So we had to make some hard decisions to sell that home and essentially downsize to something that works actually a lot better. But what that did is it allows us to get to this maximum potential that we want to achieve. When I first joined the industry 8 years ago, the first thing I did is follow the same rules that I apply to all of my clients, which is protection first. So that means that I got protection on my income because I'm self-employed. And with that, if I don't get too sick or injured to work, I get a good portion of my money back. So it's a forced savings. I also got critical illness insurance to cover off cancers, big events that are going to happen. And if I don't get sick, I get 100% of my money back. I also got as much life insurance that our family can have. Now I've got my husband who is in traditional senses uninsurable. So we had to go different routes for him than for me. But that was our first goal. After that, then the things that I can't protect against, the things that I can't offset to a bigger company who can manage the risk where I can't, then cash comes into play. And that was where we were missing out, was the cash flow was not there in order to have that emergency savings. Now, we also had a son that was born 2 years ago with a chronic lifelong lung and digestive disease called cystic fibrosis. And of course, that totally threw our plans up on the wayside. It's one of the reasons why I had to move from our home. But that's one of those events that I can't protect against. And I can't protect his future in many ways that I can my daughter, who's 4. So with all that, we got our protection in play first and foremost, because I realized that anything that I do in the savings and investing side is to the wayside. It could easily be taken away if something happened to my husband or I that we were not able to provide for our family. Then after that, obviously, we got into a situation where we are able to save 15 to 20% of our gross income. Now that just happened this year. Okay, but it was a big goal of ours, and even though we're in our early 30s and we have a long way to go, I understand that I am responsible for my future, and the best way to set myself and my children up is to be responsible with the cash flow that I have in front of me. So we've also been following a weekly cash flow plan, which Tony's family, myself, all of our families have been doing for many years. It allows us to control the day-to-day spending without it being a budget. Okay, now it's not 100% perfect. We still go on spending spurt, just don't get me wrong. But it is 90% better, is better than no progression at all. The other thing I'm really proud of is that we've been able to set up savings for my kids. Now, the way I save for my daughter is extremely different than the way I save for my son, who has a chronic illness. And there may be some other long-term needs to help him out with income than my daughter. So we use disability savings plans for him, and we use a combination of tax-free savings account and whole life for my daughter, whole life insurance. The nice thing about it is that both ways for my kids is I'm setting them up that the savings I have for them could be for education, it could be for them to start a business, it could be for a down payment on a house, it could be for a wedding gift. It is free and flexible for me to choose, for my husband and I to choose how to spend that money. No one is telling me what to do with it. So I just kind of want to share a little bit of our testimony. Along the way, of course, we're not 100% perfect, but when you're looking to who you're going to trust for advice, it's a valid question to ask, are you following the principles that you're trying to instill in us? And in our world at Oasis Wealth, we have full confidence to say that yes, while we are still human and it is not 100% perfect, we are living out the realities of what we are trying to teach and educate our clients to set them up for their maximum financial potential. Thanks for listening. We look forward to hearing more from you guys and to meeting more of you and to helping you out with your financial journey, no matter what it looks like. There's always a beautiful future ahead. We just need to have the right tools and the right education in front of us. Have a great day.